Have you heard about Holocaust?
Of course.
Yes, I have.
What about Rwanda?
It was a genocide, deliberate murder.
What about Khojalı?
What?
Khojalı.
No, I haven't heard of that.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Even in our newsroom, filled with international journalists, few had heard anything about the 1992 massacre in the Azerbaijani town of Khojaly. In just one night, Armenians murdered 613 Azeri civilians in a small town near the border of Azerbaijan. Some were burned alive, others were mutilated. We're talking about a mass murder, where the president of the offending state boasted about butchering innocent civilians.
Before Khojaly, the Azerbaijanis thought that the Armenians were people who could not raise their hands against the civilian population. We were able to break that.
Khojaly is in the Nagorno-Karabakh region in southwest Azerbaijan. In 1920, the Soviet Union established an autonomous Armenian region inside Azerbaijan as part of the divide and conquer strategy of the time. But after the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Armenians in Azerbaijan declared independence and began a bloody insurrection. 1 million Azeris were displaced, 20% of their land is still occupied, and 30,000 people were killed. And on the night of February 25th, 1992, a nightmare in Khojaly, there was the intentional and brutal murder of 613 people. Armenians continue to occupy the Nagorno-Karabakh region and demand independence, despite the refusal of the UN to recognize their claim of autonomy. No one has been held accountable for any of the murders. So why hasn't anyone heard of this? At the time, there wasn't strong media coverage of the massacre compared to other genocides. Reporters tried. The massacre was soon forgotten. Many Western politicians and media outlets turned their attention to other conflicts. Azerbaijani media claims that the mainstream media ignored it because of the strong political influence of Armenians in the West. The U.S. does not recognize the independence of Karabakh, but 15 U.S. states with large Armenian populations passed symbolic legislation supporting Karabakh as an independent Armenian state. So what's being done? Not much. Although the UN passed resolutions against the Armenian occupation and the European Court of Human Rights recognized the Khojaly massacre, no actions have ever been taken. For their part, Azerbaijanis want the international community to recognize the occupation of their lands and the terrible crimes of Khojaly.
For 25 years, the wound has not healed because the ignorance and occupation still continues. But the hope is still present
that one day the world will accept
the truth about what happened in Khojaly.
Will their call ever be answered?